Hello guys and welcome to our rogue guide for Mythic Plus. In this video here I'll go over everything you need to know to become a master of the rogue. I will go over about everything assassination, including gearing, talents, stats, different trinkets and all kinds of variations you can do and play to optimize your gearing and your process on the way to Keystone Legend and maybe even to a title later on. So, if you like and enjoy the video here, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content, guide content, and all the World of Warcraft content here on the channel. I'll very much appreciate it. Also, if you have some more tips and tricks, then leave them in the comments. That could be helpful for others. Alrighty, so this is the talent. Ta-da, it's the bleed build. I'll leave an import string here below, and I'll just quickly go over some of the options you have for the bleed build. So, the options you have here is basically you can take cheat death in lowercase. I recommend if you're not like struggling with stuff that will one-shot you or just flat out kill you where you need elusiveness to live it, then take cheat death. Here I have also taken rush setup and still shroud. You can swap that out for master poisoner and shadow runner. And over on the assassination tree, this is pretty much set in stone for full-on damage. But if you are on lower keys and you're struggling a bit and there's a lot of damage going out that is hard to live or you're missing a lot of cast, then you can swap Master Assassin and take Iron Wire, and then you can pretty much solo a whole dungeon in stops. And also this here helps your tank survive, so if you're not struggling in damage, that is something you can look into. Alright, and as I mentioned here, check below the video here for a import string to the talents. Alright, so let's talk a bit about the Asa rogues here in the Mythic Plus settings and how they actually play. So, with the bleed build, our bread and butter is our bleeds, and Deathmark being a pure single target cooldown, all our AoE damage is going to come from restells, getting out our bleeds, and this probably ties into the hardest part about playing a assassination rogue, and that is convincing your tank or explaining to him that you are going to need restells so he cannot chain pull with a mob that is basically dead. Or once you find a tank that actually listens or has like more than a functioning ear, then great, then we can continue, right? So all our damage here from our bleed here comes from our restells and vanishes in AoE situations, and prior damage is mainly coming from Deathmark. So once we have gotten out all our bleeds and spread out as many bleeds as possible here in our vanish windows, we are going to send Deathmark, shivs, and as many envenoms as we can for top prior damage. So while we're doing that here, let's take a look at how the opener actually looks, and I'll explain a little bit along the way. So we are going to stealth. We're going to make sure we have our poisons on. We are going to garrote into rupture for 5 of each dot up. We have 5 targets here. You can vary it and garrote one target and garrote another target that doesn't have garrote on. It's a bit less handy to do, but it gets an extra bleed out. The same with rupture as well. Personally, I prefer to just slam garrote into the same target. Also because the pandemic effect, you're getting a third of the dot on top of the next one. So for a prior target, that is definitely the way to go. So, it goes Garrot, Rupture, then Ambush for our Deathstalker's mark. And then we're gonna get our combo points up. We are gonna send a Crimson Tempest, a Shiv, into Deathmark, into Trinket. And now it is just maintaining this here. So, you have a choice with Vanish. Either you can Vanish after your window runs out for a crit buff and a bit more spreading of dots, or you can hold it until your empowered garrote drops off and refresh your empowered garrotes for more bleed damage. It all depends on how quickly your pulls are dying and how the group is playing. So you want to like make that call on your own. Generally, if the pulls are dying really quick, you want to send it before. You can also hold it in case your tank chains or something like that. And you can refresh your bleeds and get some more bleeds out. It all depends on the group and how your team is playing. But generally, if the pull is dying quickly, you want to vanish during the Deathmark window. And if not, you want to vanish when it's time to reapply dots if the pull is living for a really long time. So, empowered, garrotes, and shrouded suffocation are 2 talents we have that empowers our garrote stealth, which means we do not want to override the garrotes we send from stealth. The way I usually keep track of it, this rigor here is like which are going in. If the garrote is going on cooldown, then it is not sent from stealth. So we really don't want to make sure here we really want to make sure that we don't send a garrote on top of a garrote that haven't been from stealth. Because of that, we're losing out on that 70% damage amp. However, we also want to make sure we min-max our garrote uptime with the empowered garrote. So keep an eye on the pandemic window, and right before your subterfuge window runs out, you wanna garrote once more, just to like min-max the uptime of the damage amp. Other than that, the spec is fairly simple. We keep up our dots, and we are maintaining Rupture and garrote, preferably on 2 to 3 targets at all times, if possible. If your tank can manage to pull a bit of low danger trash onto the boss, that is really great. Alrighty, so the gearing process as our assassination rogue here. We are going to focus on crit and mastery. They are the 2 best stats you can get, and the most valuable ones. After that, you want a bit of haste and you want a bit of verse. You don't want no haste and no verse, but that is generally the order of the stats you want to get. For trinkets, I recommend getting a unyielding nether prism, Forge Weaver or Raz's trinket, and the Cursed Stone Idol are also great unused trinket, together with the Lily of the Internal Weave. For your passive trinket, Astral Antenna is going to be best in slot for your Mythic Plus journeys. Symphorium Pacemaker and Incorporeal Warp Claw and Empowering Crystal of Anubikash is also great options you can go and farm. For trinket and for your crafted items, you want to craft a dagger with Ascendance, and you want braces crafted with the Ascendance Empowerment. Your Reese's wrap is pretty much on autopilot. I recommend like putting in a mastery fiber. That is best for both sub and Asa. Make sure you remember to get one crafted. That gives you a bit more stats. If you have the belt, put it on mastery until you get a fully upgraded heroic belt or myth-track belt. That should be better with proper stats, of course. And tier pieces, it is really much just go and yoink the tier pieces you can and find an off piece that matches these stats. Alright, so for the end here, I want to give you a few tips and tricks here to min-max your as a rogue DPS. Tip number 1 is to definitely go and check out the live stream over on twitch.tv/KillerChris. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to do my best to answer them over there. And if you are fighting a mob and your tank decides to chain pull and that mob is stuck a bit behind here and is on low health, try and see if you can finish it off before joining the other guys, because you might actually get a re-stealth even though they go in combat with the next pack. You might not be pulled into combat right away, so that is a way you can absolutely score a bit more damage here, especially in puck keys. Then there's the whole combo point and when to send your finishers. You want to send your finishers at 5 or more combo points to not overcap combo points. And if you are burnt down your Deathstalker's mark completely, you use 1 stack every time you hit a finisher at 5 or more, you want to make sure you send a full combo point in Venom, not Rupture, not Crimson Tempest, full combo point in Venom to apply a new mark and to get a nice damage amp on that in Venom. Obviously, make sure you have a caustic spatter on the target before you do so. That will definitely help out quite a lot of people. I see some Asa rogues screw that up. Not all, but some. And lastly here, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like it, and provide a tip in the comment if you have one. And don't forget to check out the sub-rogue guide. I recommend you check out sub-rogue as well in keys. It is super fun. You have crazy amounts of single target bosses just in belt. Same with big guys. Yeah, and I'll see you all on the live stream. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.